Hello everyone, it's Professor Sadiq Noor, and today in this video, which is the series of Access videos, I'm gonna teach you about creating reports and forms in Microsoft Access. So in this video number 4, the objective of the video 4 is to help us to format the controls, to include calculated control in a report or forms, to create a report from multiple tables, to filter the records in a report, to create a report using a layout view, also to describe the option to apply the theme to report or forms, to create a summary report, to create a form using the form wizard, to apply a control layout, to include special items on a report or form to enhance its design, to move a control, to add a field to a report or forms, to use the advanced filter sort tool, and finally to prepare mailing labels, right? So one of the advantage of to maintain the database the data in a database is the ability to represent the data in an attractive report and form that highlight the certain information. Reports represent the data in an organized format that usually printed. The data come the data can come from one or more tables. On the other hand, you usually view the form on the screen, although you can print them. In addition to viewing the data, you can also use the form to update the data. All right, so let's start. So the data file is attached to the description of the video. You can download and then you can follow the steps that I'm going to show you. All right. So in my case, I have downloaded it. I will go to the download chapter 4 and I will open this file, double click it. Now the macro has blocked the macro from running, so we need to save as this. That's because the original file. So go to file, save as, select the save database as, save as. I will go to my access folder under the document and I will change this dash partners, save. Now you have to enable always, that's a security warning, so enable it. So from here, let me explain what is what. This here is your tabs, tabs, all right? And below the tabs, all this area here is your ribbon, ribbon. The ribbon consists of groups and the groups has names. As you see here, group had name, right? And then this is your object database window. All the object in Access will be displayed in the left-hand side pane, or you can say Access object window or your navigation window. And then below that is your status bar. This is your status, so Access is ready to go. So once I open the file, we have already some tables listed in the left-hand side. We have some queries, we have forms, and we have report. These are the database objects. Now, the first thing that we want to do is to organize the data in a report by grouping and sorting. So one thing you need to know that when you are creating a report is divided into various sections to help clarify the presentation of the data, right? So when working with a report in Excel, there are four ways to view your report. Report view, print preview, layout view, and design view. So the report has four views, okay? Report view shows the report on the screen. Print preview shows the report as it will appear when printed. Layout view is similar to report view in that it shows the report on the screen, but it also allows you to make changes to the report design. Using the layout view is usually the easiest way to make such changes. Design view also allow you to make changes, but it does not show you the actual report data, right? The design one. So the first thing that we want to do is we have to open the table closing and protection so that we're gonna create the report grouping and sorting, right? So to do that, so double click, it opens the report, and then we have to go to view, and then we have to change to layout view, right? When you see the yellow boxes, that means you are in a layout view. So if you change it to design view, it's gonna look like this, right? And then if you wanna go back, you see in the bottom here where my flashing light indicate. So if you wanna go back to the print preview, that's the print preview. If you wanna go to report view, that's the report view. If you wanna go to the layout view, I can do it from the status bar here. All right. So next, to create the grouping and sorting, as you see here, Microsoft add a new contextual tabs in the top here because the object I'm working on is the report, right? So be sure that you click report layout design and then be sure that in the ribbon, look for grouping and totals and then click for group and sorting. As you click the report and sorting, what's gonna happen is that Microsoft is gonna add the add and group and add sort, right? So in this case, what we need is we will click the add group and then we will select the property state as the group. As you see, they move separate now, so that all the New York record will be under the New York State, all the PA will be under the PA. Next is the sort. So click on the sort button in the bottom. You want to sort by which of the column or the field. We want to sort by payoff amount. So click on the payoff amount, all right? Now, the next, as you see, while I was doing the changes happened to my report in the layout view, right? So we have this been sorted, and then we have the numbers here for the closing ID. So the next thing now, if you want to explore more about what you can do more with the sort, or you want to go to add more, so you can click add group or add sort. So for example, if you want to see more options regarding the payoff, so now you select it from smallest to largest. You can change it if you want to from largest to smallest, right? And then if with no label, with no totals, you can add title, you can add headers and footers and so on, all right? So In this case, the next one now is about report controls. So I will close this. All right. Now, report controls. All right. So the report, we call it report controls, right? So what is these report controls? The various objects on a report is called controls, right? So we have three kinds of controls: bound, bound, the other one is unbound, unbound, and the third one is calculated control. Calculated, calculated control, right? So what is a bound control? The bound the bound control are used to display the data that comes from the database. Like in this case, if you see here, the closing date and all this information, they are bound because they come up from your table or from the database. We did not add it. Unbound control is when you add it, like the title of the report or the date and time that you want to add to your report. And then the calculate is when you want to calculate the field, the columns, right? So unbound control are not associated with the data from the database and are used to display such things as the report title. The calculated control are used to display data that is calculated from other data such as the total, right? So I hope you understand the controls. Now the next task is to add total and subtotals, right? So to do that, we are in the layout view. We will select one of the date here, right? And then you can also, if you want, we can sort it. You can go back here and then we want to sort by the payoff amount. As you see, I sorted again, right? So somehow it took it off. So I sorted now. So the next thing now we want to do, just click on any of the payoff text box, right? And then we will go to the report layout design. And then you look for in the ribbon, the group that says grouping and total. Click for me the total. And then we will go with the sum. So automatically access add the sum here for the New York State. And also it adds the total for all the record regarding the state of PA. And then this one here is the grand total, right? Is the grand total. All right. So next The next one is if you wanna get rid of the group unsorting in the bottom of your report, in the layout, you don't want it anymore. So you will go back to the ribbon and then you will click you as you see the group unsort is being selected. So click on it to deselect. As you see in the bottom, I don't have it anymore. If you want it, just click it again. If you don't want it, click it again to take it off. Next now, what if you want to bold face the total? So to bold face the total, I will select the total and then we need the property sheet, which is under the report layout design, and click the group is tools, click property sheet, and then look for font weight. And then you will click the drop down and we're gonna make it bold. As you see, both the totals is being bold faced. And then the format is currency. As you see, I have the currency amount with it. Now you can close the property. If you done with it, you can close the property sheet pane. Now we're gonna apply the conditional formatting controls. Conditional formatting is a special format that is applied to the value that satisfies some criterion, right? So in this case, we wanna look for the payoff which is more than $200,000. And if our criteria is true, then we want to set the color to blue to make it different from the other payoffs, right? So to do that, what I will do, I will click on the payoff here, and then we're gonna go to the home, right? So let me move this. So obviously it's gonna be under the format. So select and then format, and then you're gonna see conditional formatting. Click on it, and then it's gonna open the conditional formatting rules manager dialog box. So show the formatting rule for the payoff amount, that's the column. We're gonna click on new rules. Now we have two kinds of rules, so we're gonna stick with the first one, and then we're gonna say the second box greater equal to $200,000. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I will boldface, and the text color we are looking at dark blue color. All right. So we are looking for this color actually, the blue. And then click OK. And then apply. And then OK. Now let me do it again. It does not. Format. And then we said the condition was 200,000. All right. So I have 3 and 6 zeros. Perfect. So greater than, and then we said that the color has to be the blue color. Click OK. So let's see, that's the most easiest part. Let's do it again. So the conditional formatting, I select it. Let me do it again. Select conditional formatting under the format, and then I will delete the one I created it. Now new rule. Then we will go, the field value is greater equal to, and then we're gonna type the amount. So is five of them. That's why I didn't get it. One, two, four, five. So five, right? So that's why I couldn't get the color change. So blue color, the text has to change to blue, boldface. Okay, apply, and then okay. So now in this case, the criteria is satisfies what you asked for. You said you wanna have 200 and then 0 0 and 0. So in this case, all the blue ones satisfy your criteria, your condition, and they are different from the others. All right. So next now is to filter the records in a report. Some Sometime you might want to filter records in a report. Why? Because you might want to include in a report only those records that satisfy some criterion and be able to change that criterion easily, right? So to do that, we're gonna go to the seller ID and then do right click on it. And then these are the filters. So we're gonna choose does not equal S or S2. So if you want S2, so you will go to the S2 here, do right click on it, and then does not equal to S002. I can see everything but not the seller S-002. Right? So the seller ID S002 no longer appears in the list. And then you can print out the report. All right. Now, how to clear the report filter. So once you're done, you want to see all the record again. So you will right click and then you will click on filter from the seller, clear the filter from the seller ID. Now I can see the S2 also will be visible. All right. Now the next is we have some options here. Like if you click on the arrange tab, we have tabular and the table under the table group is stacked. So the stack means create a layout similar to the paper form with the labels on the left of each field, whereas the tabular create a layout similar to the spreadsheet with the label across the top and the data in a column below the labels. Then we have two options here under the split vertically and split horizontally. So split vertically, split the selected control into two rows, whereas the split horizontally is split the selected control into two columns, right? And then if you go to the page setup, you can have the page size, you can change the margins, the size, and the page layout from portrait to landscape. All right. Now the next task is to create a report that involves multiple tables. So in this case, There are two existing relationship, one between the closing table, the mortgage company's table, and the other between the closing table and the property table. So to produce the report currently needed by the manager, you will need to add a relationship for the sellers and the closing fee table, right? So to do that, we're gonna close the report, save the changes. Now we're gonna go to Database Tool tab. In the ribbon, look for the group that says Relationship. Click on the relation. It's already been done for us, but we need to add a couple of tables here. So click on Add Table. And then you should see the Add table in the right-hand side. And then we need to add the sellers. So now we need to arrange it. So we want this to be here. This has to go down here. And the properties has to be here. All right. And then the seller has to come this side. All right. And then we also need to add the closing fee. And then we're gonna drag it here. We will stretch it. So to create the relationship now, the table that you want to create a relationship, there should be a unique field. In this case, you see the sellers table has a seller ID, whereas the property table has a seller ID without a key in the left of the seller ID. So the seller ID without a key, this is your foreign key. The foreign key will always satisfy the value that's in the master table, in this case, the seller table, right? So we will drag the seller ID with a key over the one without the key, like this. Hold the left key of your mouse. And then the seller ID is coming from both the table. And then we will hit create. All right, create. So the relationship has been created. Now, we have to do for the closing also, right? So in this case, the closing table has a closing ID with a key, whereas the closing fee doesn't have any closing, it doesn't have any key in the left of the closing ID. The column is without a key. So that's the foreign key here. And this one is your primary key, right? So you're gonna drag this, do it again, this over this one here, and then you will create the relationship. So everything is done, and then we will save it, go to the floppy in the quick access toolbar, and then we will close it. Now we will open the navigation pane, and then we have to select the property table. So select the property table, right? And then don't open it, just select, and then go to create. And then we will go to the second last group is report wizard. So because you already selected the table property, by default, it's gonna show you the table property, right? So what we need from here, we need to click or double click the property street, all right? So we added the field button to add the street information to the report. So now we need to click the table and queries drop down button, and then we need to click the sellers table, and then we need to select the seller So from the table seller, we need to select the seller table and then we need to select the seller name, double click it or select and hit the greater. So then we add it to the selected field. Now we need to click the drop down and then we have to choose, we need to display a closing table. And then from the closing table, we need to add the closing date. So double click it. And now we need to go back to the table and queries. And then we need to select the closing fee. And then we need to add the total agent commission, right? And then we need to do next, right? And then the next thing we need is we will say, do you want any level? So we don't, if you want, you can say show more information, right? So from here, we're gonna hit next and select the closing. So let's see next. So from next, do you want to add any grouping levels? So hit next. Let's go back. So the first one, do you want to view? So we have to select by closing fee. That's how I want to view by closing. Then hit next. Then we need to select the closing as a group and then click here. All right, closing date by month. This is will the record will be grouped by the close date by month. Then hit next. Then the next is, do you want to sort? So we will click the summary option here. And then we're gonna choose that the total agent commission should be sum. And then click OK. And then click next. And then we want the layout to be stepped. The orientation is landscape. Then click next. And then we're gonna be calling this report as closing, 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 and total agent commissions. And then there is no more next. We have to hit finish. And that's the report title here in the top is closings and total agent commissions. The report has been created. So in this case, you see the sum has been summed, right? That's when you choose that option, the summary where you said sum, so it's been summed, right? Now, some of the data in my report appears to cut off, so that's a problem, right? So to modify the report, right? So to do that, the first thing is what we need is that if you select this, not here. So what we need first is this is the preview now, right? So we will close it and then we will open it. You can do right click, layout view. Now, when you are in the layout view, so what we can do is that you can adjust the size, right? You can adjust the size like this. And then the seller. So if you want to change anything from the seller, you can adjust that. You can also shrink it down. When you see the arrow, you can move it like this. Now we need to move. So when you see the four black arrow, hold the left key and just drag it. And then move this underneath. Perfect. And then this one. And then I will stretch it. And then I can drag it underneath the total commission. All right. And then the total. When you see the black arrows, drag it. And then this one, the grand total. Perfect. So the four pointed arrow is for moving, okay? If you see here, then you can move it. So now everything look perfect, right? And then we can also decrease the street seller name field size. If you think that you don't want a big, you can just move your cursor to the border and drag it. All right. Next, we can click on here if you want, and then you can also change it. All right. So you can see it's centered. If you think this one is a little bit away, so just drag it a little bit. So it looks perfect. Now we're gonna preview the form, the report. So go here and then report view. Next, to create a report in a layout view by creating a blank report. Now, why do we need to create a report in a layout view by creating a blank report? So the layout view works best when you need to change the look and feel of a report because you can rearrange the fields and the size, and you can also change the sizes. So to do that, I will close this one, save the changes. Now let's go to create, and then you're gonna click on the blank report, right? So we're gonna go to blank report, click on it. So I don't have anything, it's just blank. Now the next in the right hand side, you're gonna see the field list, and then show table. You will have to click to show all the tables. So click for me, show all tables. And then we're gonna select the closing, click the plus sign to expand. And then what we need is you can also expand the closing, right? So the closing, and then you can drag the field that you are looking at. All right. So in this case, what we want to do now is that we need to drag the closing ID. So click and drag it. And then we need the title search. Once you drag it in the report blank, then release your finger from the left key of your mouse. We need the total agent commission. We are looking for recording fee. Select and drag it. Attorney fee. And then we are looking for inspection fee. Select and drag it. We are looking for appraisal fee. We are looking for the prorated HOA field. All right. Now we can position the fields. Next, we have to close the field list. Hit the X to close it. Now to fit all the column on the same page, we need to click the landscape. All right. So we will have to go to the page setup, and then we need to select page layout and then landscape. Now everything is within the range. Before, you see it's cutting off. It has to be inside the dotted. So we click the landscape from the page setup tab. Now we need to add a report title. So we need to add the title. I don't have any title here, right? So to do that, we need to go to the report layout, right? And then you see here under the headers of footer, you will see title, click on it. And then we're gonna call this closing fees report. Now we need to save the report, so go to the floppy, the quick access toolbar, and then we're gonna call this, we're gonna save the report as closing fees report and click save, click OK. Now using the themes, the most important characteristic of a report or form is that it represents the desired data in a useful arrangement. Another important characteristics, however, it is the general appearance of the form, how you want the appearance of your form. The color and the font that you use in the various section of the report or the form contribute to this look. You should keep in mind two important goals when assigning colors on font. First, the various colors and fonts should complement each other. Colors that clash or two fonts that do not go well together can produce a report that looks unprofessional or it is difficult to read. Second, the choice of colors and fonts should be consistent, right? So a theme consists of a selection of colors and font that are applied to the various section in a report or forms. So the colors and the font in any of the built-in themes are designed to complement each other. When you assign a theme to any object in the database, the theme quickly applies to all the reports and the forms in the same database. All right. So to do that, we will go to the report layout, and then you see the in the ribbon the group called teams. Teams. We will click the teams, and then you can change to any theme you want, right? And then you can also change the color, and then you can also customize the color, all right? You can customize it. You can also change the font. You can go here and you can change the font to whatever you want, all right? So we need to change the theme to pointer. So move your cursor and see it's changing. Slice. See, gallery. This one is facet, and then this one office, right? So you can go this one slice, right? Just point on it and see which one you like the most. Okay. Right, so I will just leave, I will select just one. All right. Now to create a summary report. A report that include a group calculation such as subtotal but does not include the individual detail lines is called summary report. Why we need a summary report? You might need a report that only shows the overall group calculations but not all the records. So the step to hide the detail lines in the closing and the properties report, we have to do this way. Now we have to open the navigation pane, which is this one here, and open and close the properties in a layout view, right? So let's go. Let me close this one first. Save the changes. Now we need to open the report, which is closing and property report. So right click on it and let's go to layout view. All right, layout view. Now you see under the grouping and total, we have something called hide detail. So we hide it only by getting what? The payment, right? We have the detail there. For New York, the total, the sum was this. For PA, the sum was this, and then the grand total. So we're gonna close it. Don't save it. That's how you're gonna create a summary report. The next is to create a form creation. The form creation. So to use the form wizard to create a form, right? So to create a form using a wizard is the easiest way to create form in Access. So to do that, first I will click on the table mortgage companies. We're gonna go to create, and then we're gonna select the in the ribbon after you click the tab create, in the ribbon look for form, and then click on form wizard because you already selected the mortgage companies, so it's already the table has been selected. Now, what we want to include, what we want to have in the form. So we want to have mortgage company name. You can double click it. Address, double click it. Mortgage company portal, double click it. Then hit next. We want it to be columnar. So we have like tabular, data sheet, and then justify. So we want columnar. Then hit next. And then we have to give it the name mortgage companies form. And then there is no more next. Now finish the wizard. The form has been created. And if you look down here, that's your navigation button. So you're gonna move to the next record. You're gonna go back to the third record, or in the beginning, that's the first record. So this is a complete form. So these ones, these guys here is what we call the labels. Labels, right? So these are the attached label, these guys here. And this one is your text boxes. This is your text boxes. All right. So the next is to place the controls in a control layout. So a control layout is a guide that aligns the controls to give the form or the report a uniform appearance. Why? To use the layout view with a form, the control must be placed in a control layout. Access has two types of control layout. A stacked layout, which arranges the control vertically with the label to the left of the controls and is commonly used in the form. Whereas the tabular layout arranges the control horizontally with the label across the top and is typically used in the report. So the control layout is a guide that aligns the controls. These are controls. These are controls to give the form or report a uniform appearance or look, right? So to do that, we will have to go back to the view and then layout view, right? And then we can select. So you have to hold the shift key or the control key. Shift. So once you select all the label attached and all the control, these are the controls been selected, right? Then what you need to do is that we're gonna go to arrange, and then you have the option is stacked on tablet. The tablet mainly used for the report actually. So we're gonna go with the stacked, clicked on the stack. Now as you see now, I have something to select now, right? So the control layout indicator shows all control are in the control layout now. Okay, all right. Next, now to enhance the form by adding a date. To enhance the look or usability of the report or form, you can add special items such as a logo or a title. You can also add the date and time. In the case of the report, you can add a page number as well. So to do that, we will go back to the form layout, all right? And then we're gonna go, we can add logo, title, we can also add date and time. So click on the date and time. And then you need to include date and time and all this stuff you want. And then suppose we don't want to include the date, so take it off. So we want to include the time and we want this formation. And then we're gonna click OK. You will see in the right hand side the date has been added. You see? Next is to change the format of a control. You can change the format of a control by clicking the control and then click the appropriate button on the format tab, right? So let's click the time control here. And then in the ribbon, we will go back to the home, right? Or we can go to the format tab, and then we have the font. The font, we can hit B to boldface, all right? The boldface. And then if you want to drag it, look, the four black arrow, I moved it here. If you want to shrink it down, you can make it smaller, all right? Just drag it. So that's how to move the control. It was all the way to the right and then I dragged it down, right? You will select and you will drag it. Look, I moved it here now. So Control and Z. And then I will move it if I want it here. If I want to move it somewhere here, right? So it's up to you where you want to move it. But don't put it over the pink line. The pink line is for the mortgage company title, right? That's how to move the control. So you can move the control by dragging the control. So the time control to the lower edge of the format headers, you can move it. Now to move the controls in a control layout, just as you saw me, I moved the time control in the previous step. You can also move any control within the control layout by dragging the control to the location you want. Any of these you can drag it, right? So for example, I can just move, let's say I will select this, hold the shift key, select this. Then with the four black arrow, hold the left key and drag it. When you see the pink line, the horizontal line, then that's where you want to move it, right? So if you want to move it back, look for the line, the pink line, right? So you can also move anything which is under the control layout. That's the control layout. Remember we changed to stock, right? So what if we want the portal to be in the middle, the second one? So select, hold the shift key. Once both is selected and you see the orange around it, so move your cursor in the middle and drag it until you see the pink horizontal line, then release it wherever you want to move it. So we want to move it here. So the portal field has been what? Moved. Now we want to add a field, right? We want to add a new field, right? So once you create the report in a wizard and then you realize that you want to add another field or column in the form, you don't need to delete it. You can add the new field, right? So to do that, what we need is we will go back to the format layout. We're gonna view and change. So the form has three views: form view, layout view, and design view. So we're gonna click on design view. So that's the design view. Now we're gonna go back to form design, and then I need you to click on add existing field. Now from the add existing, we wanna add the mortgage company ID. So I will move. All right. And then now you see this is square. If you want to move this individually, then move your cursor over it, that will move like this. But if you move like this, so both will move, you see? See? So the thing is, you have to be careful. If you want to move individually, like this one here, the label, and then I want to drag the control. All right. So you can resize this one also, right? And then you're gonna move it now. So that's how to add an existing field to the form. Now the next, we will go back and view it. Go to view, form view. So that's the new field that you added. All right. Next is to filter and sort using the form. As we did in the report, you can also do sort and filter using the form. So just as in the data sheet, you often need to filter and sort the data when using a form. You can do so using advanced filter/sort, which is a command on the advanced menu. So let's do that. Let's go back to the layout, and then I can close the field list. All right. Now what we want to do, we will go to the home, click on the home, and then look for the sort and filter, and then you will see under the home tab in the ribbon the third group is sort and filter. Click on advanced and then click on advanced filter and sort. It's gonna open like the query, and then we're gonna add the field. So we want the company name. How can I stress this? So double click the company name, and then we are looking for the mortgage company portal. All right. Now under the criteria, So we want to sort the company alphabetically, so ascending wise. And then under the criteria, we want to say all the portal that is, I put the star, this the wild is like a wild card. So the asterisk, when you don't know what's the beginning of the criteria, but I know it ends with com, right? So in this case, the criteria to show only .com website, not the other ones, only the portal that has the .com websites, right? So after you did that, now we're gonna click on the toggle to run it to show us if we have any. So I will say, okay, run it. So this is, I have one of three. Only three records are included, right? And then if you see here now it says filtered. If you don't want to have the filter, you can click this to remove the filter. All right. So after this, now we need to save the form. Click the floppy. All right. So this tab has your filter form tab. This is the one. And that's the form. All right. Now we need to clear the form filter. So what you need, you see the toggle, right? Or you can go to advanced and then you can say filter, clear all filter. All right. So now I have 104. If you look down here, all right, and then save your work. Now to arrange the tab. Forms like report has an arrange tab that you can use to modify the form layout. However, the page setup tab is not available for forms. So the buttons on the arrange tab and the function of those buttons are just like the one described earlier. So the next is mailing labels. So let me close the form. So the next is mailing labels. Organization needs to send all kinds of correspondence, such as invoices, letters, reports, and surveys to accounts, customers, and other business partner on a regular basis. So using a printed mailing label eliminate such of the manual labor involved in preparing mailings. In Access, mailing labels are a special type of report. When this report prints, the data appears on the mailing label aligned correctly and in the order you specify. Mailing labels are usually stickers that can be peeled off the page and pasted on the envelope. So to create the labels, what we need to do is we will go to first select the properties table and then let's go to create and then you will see under the report is labels. So click on the labels. Now the label dialog box is going to show up the wizard, label wizard. So now here, what label size would you like, right? So we will select the second one, C2163, and I want two across, right? Then leave the other one as it is, then hit next. Then it says, what font and color will you like your text to be? So you can have any font you want from here, right? And then you could change the size. You can make it lighter or border is up to you. The book says, and here that I'm going through, you can make it light, bold, is up to you. So if you want to make it bold, so I will make it bold like this. If you want to change the color, you can do so. Hit next. Now from here, we want the current resident. So obviously what we need to type. So what we need is we're gonna say current resident on the first line. Then the next thing we need, the property sheet. We don't want it in the same. So let me take it off. Backspace. So resident, then go to the next line, and then we need the property street. Then go down with the down arrow, and then we need the property city. Then space, comma, or space. And then we are looking for, so we need to give a comma actually, comma, space, use the space bar, and then we need the property state, double click it, comma. So if you want no commas or space, the property postal code. So that's completed the label. And then we're gonna say next, next. And then from here now it says which field will you like to sort by? We want to sort by the postal code. You can double click or you select and you can click the greater sign. And then we're gonna say next. Then it's gonna ask you what you want to name. So we're gonna leave it as the report name will be label properties. All right, labels, properties. And then we have to hit finish, hit the finish, right? Now you're gonna see your label. Perfect. All right. And then you will have to have the paper that you can peel, and then once you print the address, and then put it in the envelope. So the report is done, the labels are done. So I will close it. And that's as my lecture and my video regarding chapter number 4 about creating reports and forms. So I hope that you understand the steps of creating reports and forms, and also you need to practice, and the file that I'm using will be attached to the description of the video, and be sure to download the file and just follow the steps that I went through, and be sure to subscribe to my channel, be sure to like so that I can create more productive videos for you guys. Enjoy and have a nice and blessed day. Thank you. You can close now, access.